What is up, Division 2 agents? This is Gamer for Life back with another Division 2 video. In this video, I wanted to go over a couple of builds that I'm using for the Golden Bullet Global event in the 5x XP event that is going on right now. So we can go with the burden of truth, go to our events timeline, and you can see we have Golden Bullet ongoing for 6 days, 14 hours, and the 5x XP event, which is beautiful, especially if you're someone trying to get to level 1000 quickly. This is the way to do it. And just like the other 5x XP events, I'm assuming that this is going to be capped at 1000, shade levels, which is still an insane amount of shade levels to get during this event. So first thing we want to make sure and do is go into Golden Bullet, and we want to activate it, because when we activate it, obviously every single time we get a shade level, we're going to get a star. And then also we have challenges that's going to get us even more stars. We'll have challenges every day for the next 4 days. Okay, so that is activating it, and you can see Golden Bullet activated. So we can go in here, take a look at the challenges we have for today. So day 1, eliminate hostiles while they are charging the Golden Bullet. Eliminate hostiles while they have the Golden Bullet. Use the Golden Bullet to eliminate hostiles. Destroy hostile weak points. Eliminate elite Black Tusk. And complete any main mission on hard difficulty or above. So some pretty easy stuff to do. Most of these you can just do with your random play. And then of course the last two, you take out Black Tusk and then finish any mission on hard difficulty or above. Alright, so now that we got that out the way, I'm going to go ahead and show you the first build that I'm using. And it's just, a typical region build. 3-piece Healer Guard. We have the Liquid Engineer, which is a Bellstone, which gives us a plus 1% armor regen, rolled max armor, crit chance, crit damage, max crit damage mod, perfect bloodsucker, killing an enemy adds and refreshes a stack of 12% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Now I'll just say it doesn't really matter what build you use, because when you get that Golden Bullet, you are going to be super powerful. That's why I pretty much went with kind of a survivability build. I'm having 4% armor regen on this. Obviously I have the Emperor's Guard, which gives us 1% armor regen for the named item, max weapon damage, crit chance, and then of course my 3-piece Healer Guard, 5% total armor, 60% health, and then the 2% armor regen for its brand set bonuses. Everything is rolled with max crit chance, crit damage, and the holster max armor roll. Then I have one piece of Fenris, 10% assault rifle damage, rolled with weapon damage with a max crit damage mod, and of course Obliterate for the talent. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 20 times. Alright, and then I'm using the Lexington. This is the, I know not everyone has a Lexington, so use whatever AR that you have. And I'm using my regular Lexington. Again, it doesn't really matter, because when you get the Golden Bullet, you're still going to be super powerful, but you'll still be able to take enemies out pretty easily just with your regular AR. I do have my second Lexington that is completely maxed out. You can see I have 28% extra weapon damage because of the expertise. But again, and you can see the base damage 101.3 as opposed to 87.7 for the one that I'm using. So if you have that expertise or any expertise on the gun, then your gun's just going to hit that much harder. And my secondary is Scorpio, if you want to use that. And then the skills, I do have the Striker Ballistic Shield. So what this shield does, you can see in that second paragraph, in addition, the Striker Shield boosts the damage of the user and all allies behind them based on the number of enemies in front of the shield. You can see the damage we have per enemy in front of us is 13%. This is at tier 4, 40% active regen, 150% shield health, 20% holster regen, 1.6% buff strength, and the expertise is at 12. The mods, plus 1% damage bonus per enemy, 5% shield health, and 5% damage bonus per enemy. And just for some insurance, we do have the Reviver Hive. We do have 12% for the expertise, and then the mods 10% Reviver Armor Repair, 5% range, and 4.9% duration. Now when I am doing any type of XP event, regardless what kind of global event is on, I always have it on a challenging map, because we want to make it as easy on us as possible. And again, OG players, go do you. Again, these videos are geared more towards my solo newer players. You know, if you have the super maxed out powerful stuff, you go do you. I'm not telling you how to play the game. I'm just showing you ways to make it easier on you. So we will go over the directives I have. Now, with the 2 builds that I have, there's 2 directives that I'll be switching out. So on this, I have special ammo. Basically, enemies will have, you know, fire bullets, shock bullets, whatever type of special ammo they have. Then we have scavenge skills. Skill cooldowns are only reduced by collecting skill parts from killed enemies and destroyed weak points. Now I have that with this build. The other build I'm going to show, I am not going to have this, because we're going to be relying on our skills, and we don't want to have to be, you know, picking up these deals to get our skills back. But for this build, perfectly fine. Fog of War, minimap, and directional threat indicators are removed. And then the fragile armor breaks apply a stack of broken to the agent. Each stack of broken reduces an agent's max armor. Using an armor kit removes 1 stack of broken. Okay, so these are the 4 that I'm using. The one that I am not using is the Pistolero. Start with no ammo. Hostiles killed with a sidearm are the only ammo source. So we're using our main weapons. We want to have ammo in those guns at all times. So we're not using this. I mean, unless you are using a pistol build would be perfect. So if you had a pistol build you were using, then yeah, put this on. But since we don't, we're leaving this one off. So we'll just go do a quick public execution real fast. When you're talking about maximizing your XP, public executions and the propaganda broadcasts are going to give you the XP, not the most XP. Now, I will say, with the 5-time event going on, you can honestly do anything and you're going to get a lot of XP. So you can see we get 375 for this, and this is one area I love going to, because there's usually public executions all throughout here, just like you see. So 375k, and of course that's going to be timed by 5. So let's just go do one of these real fast, and we'll see how much XP we get. All right. And you can see this build has no problem taking these enemies out. At all. Okay. And then the spawn points, unless I missed someone, it's gonna be right up here. Okay, I love how I got the golden bullet at the end. But anyway, so that gives us 1.8 million XP. That's a lot of XP, my friend. So that, what did that give us? 3 levels? Yeah. So just for one, you can see 3 levels, 3 golden global event stars. So that is the first build. And again, you saw absolutely no problem with damage. And since I didn't go over it, we'll see the stats for the Lexington. 55% crit chance, 153 crit damage. So just a beautiful build. A lot of survivability, beautiful armor regen, and of course Bloodsucker giving us that bonus armor every time we take out an enemy. So that is the first build. Now we're going to go to the second build. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change these out. So I'm taking off Scavenging Skill and I'm turning on Pistolero because this build is not really going to rely on our weapons. So that is going to change my map, and I will be right back. Alright my friends, for the second build, it's going to be your standard Eclipse Protocol build. So this gear set 2-piece plus 15% status effects, 3-piece plus 15% skill haste and 30% hazard protection, and the 4-piece indirect transmission. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refresh 50% of the duration, and definitely make sure and have the backpack equipped. This is road. Obviously everything's rolled with the skill tier except 1 piece, and this one is rolled with max status effects with a max skill haste mod. Now the main reason you want this backpack equipped is for the backpack talent Symptom Aggravator. Amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. So that is 30% amplified damage, multiplicative damage, which is the best damage in the game. Alright, so status effects and armor on my gloves, then status effects on the knee pads, and my holster is a Wyvern holster. It gives us plus 8% skill damage just to get a little more damage, because when we put the enemies on fire, we do want to take them out as fast as possible, because it does, in order to proc that 4-piece, we do need to take the enemy out. And this one is rolled with max skill damage and status effects. Now with my chest piece, again status effects and a max skill haste mod, we also have a talent on this, Proliferation, increases indirect transmission range from 10 to 15 meters and refresh percentage from 50% to 75%. So that's pretty big as well. And then we do have the Vile Mask, comes with status effects and hazard protection on it with a max skill haste mod. The talent is Toxic Delivery. Status effects also apply a damage overtime debuff for 10 seconds. Total damage dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade damage and increased by your status effect attributes. And then the Capacitor is the gun that we have on it, but again, our skills is what is going to be taking the enemies out. We have the Burn Sticky Bomb, mods duration and 7.4% damage, and then we do have the Fire Chem Launcher, tier 6, plus 6 ammo, 30% radius, 60% burn duration, 60% burn damage, and the mods 7.1% burn strength and plus 1 ammo. And then the tier 6 for the Sticky Bomb was 60% burn damage, 120% burn duration, and 90% skill haste. And we are using the Technician specialization, so we're getting that extra skill tier, which allows us to roll this piece to an armor core, giving us a little bit more armor to survive out there in case we do get hit by some of the enemy's bullets. And also the Technician specialization gives us another 10% skill damage as well. But you know, if you just wanted to roll this to a skill tier and have your specialization be something like the Firewall, which is going to give you more burn duration, you can do that as well. But this is the way I went, and the reason I'm using this build when it's during the 5 times XP is because I'm trying to get as many levels as I possibly can, and this is going to take the enemies out faster than any other way in the game when you're doing these public executions. Now I'm not going to go into detail. I am going to take you to a public execution and show you just how fast it is to take it out. But I did make a video titled Most Detailed XP Video I've Ever Done. Do this to level up lightning quick, and you really can. I'm going to leave that link for that video in the description if you want to check that out, because I don't just go over the public executions that I do, because there's specific ones I do, and it's dependent on the traffic volume around those public executions, because there are a lot of public executions in the game to where there's a lot of traffic around it, where these enemies are coming from other areas, joining in, and it's just making it go longer than it has to. So this is a way to optimize your XP gain. I show you the specific locations that I do, and on top of that I show the spawn points, because if you know the spawn points, then you can prep for where they're gonna spawn out. Meaning I put the main enemies on fire first, and then while they're burning, I'm already prepping for the next wave to come out. So I'm putting a fire chem launcher at the door that they're gonna come out. So when they do come out, they're going to be put on fire immediately, not even have time to shoot their guns, right? So that's what that video is all about. If you want that super detailed way to get as much XP as absolutely possible with that method, go check that out. But right now, let me go ahead and take you guys to a public execution. So let's see, let's go up here. All right, and for this one, I will go ahead and show you how I do this particular one. This is in my other video as well. There are 2 spawn locations for this one. The first one is right over here. So after I put them on fire, I'm gonna put a launcher right there, and then right under this window right here. Okay, so first I'm gonna put them on fire, immediately turning over here, putting a launcher there, and putting a couple over here, because this is where they come out of that door. And you can see they spawn out of this way, and it's already over. Just like that. Before I could even finish what I was saying, it's over. So what was that, 10 seconds? And look at the XP, 1.8, well, of course we know, 1.8 million XP, just like that. So again, knowing the spawn locations comes in extremely handy. And we'll take these things out in, well, you just saw it, in 10 seconds. So that is the video, my friends. I hope you guys found this one helpful. These are the 2 builds that I'm using during this XP event. Now, like I said, this is the one I'm using strictly for getting as much XP as absolutely possible. And then the other one is the one I'm using if I really want to enjoy the golden bullet experience, because you get that golden bullet with your gun, shooting your guns. That's fun, you know? So that's the build I'm using for that. And the last thing I wanted to do is bring you to the global event vendor, because this is where we're going to go to spend all of these stars that we're going to be getting. You can buy you some weapon crafting caches, gear crafting caches, or calibration, named item optimization, legacy season caches, and of course your exotic caches. So get all those stars, come here, you can buy whatever caches that you need, and of course when you do get all of these stars as well, there's some free caches that we get just from getting these stars. So you'll be able to get all of these as well. So that's gonna do it for this video, my friends. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe out there. I just wanted to thank you for your continued support of the channel. It truly means a lot, and I appreciate you guys coming on this Division 2 journey with me. As always, my YouTube family, take it easy.